Well, what's good? Back again. And today I thought I'd speak on Leprosy by the legendary Death. Give a bit of a review. I know it's been fucking out forever. It's a classic. But I wanted to put my new 2 cents on it. And smoke some Parliaments because fuck it. My favorite cigarette. Haven't had it in an extremely long amount of time. These are the 100s here. But just going to talk a little bit about Leprosy. Why it's a great fucking album, but why I prefer Spiritual Healing a lot more, opposed to Leprosy. God damn, they pack them in there tight, don't they? But fantastic album, obviously. There's a lot to be said about it. Jesus fucking Christ. They fucking put them in there, don't they? Christ almighty. It's fucking filthy. I'm gonna have to take this first fucking part out. But pretty good shit. This is a luxury smoke, I guess you'd say. Some rich people shit. And the filter end is completely goddamn hollow. You know, so you can do cocaine out of it or what have you. But talk a little bit about this shit. So in 1988, this fucking bomb hit the scene. And there's a lot of talk, you know, especially over the years. About which do you prefer, Scream Bloody Gore, Leprosy, or, you know, one of the many later Death albums. Honestly, I gotta say, I really do love... I do really love Leprosy. It is a fantastic fucking album. I think there have been a lot of critical aspects of it as time has went on, but, you know, one of the main things about this project, or this album, is people harken on the drum sound. And Bill Andrew isn't a bad drummer at all. I think the songs have a little bit of a chunk, maybe not the best drum sound at all possible, but not at all bad. And I think Death's drummers would get progressively better as, you know, the lineups changed and what have you. God damn, that's good. Primarily a menthol smoker, but, you know, I love the fucking Parliaments. They're incredible. Great band and great cigarettes, too. But, you know, some of the mini tracks on here, and there's not many, it's pretty fucking solid front to back. You know, 8 tracks, pretty simple sounding. In concept, you know, albums that have a mission goal are pretty set standard. They really do have a goal to set out on Leprosy. And it is a far vast improvement over Scream Bloody Gore. I love Scream Bloody Gore. It's a fantastic album. I listened to it to near death. Funny enough. I probably can't listen to it much anymore just because I'm really sick and tired of it. But Leprosy is a hell of a follow-up. And when this shit came out in 1988, I think everybody knew it was a fucking bomb. And this is the Under One Flag 1988 CD copy or whatever. I do actually have it on vinyl. I had to buy it. Yeah, you had to. It's fucking Leprosy, right? Classic album. Chuck Schuldiner's guitars and vocals are fantastic. Rick Ross on guitar was a great addition to the band. Even if he did overuse the whammy bar like a motherfucker, you know, it's still a fantastic project. The only thing that I could really nitpick about it is the drum sound, because Bill Andrew, his drums got better, especially on Spiritual Healing. They have a way better sound than they do on Leprosy. You can fight me on that. I do think Spiritual Healing is the better album as well. But Leprosy is a bona fide fucking classic. And if you haven't heard it, I highly suggest you do so. It's a classic fucking album. Goddamn Parliament. And as for some of the later Death albums, I didn't really much care for Human. And this coming from someone who listened to Death for a really fucking long time. Since I was a fucking kid, I was listening to Scream Bloody Gore. But Human didn't really do much of anything for me. It had like maybe 1 or 2 good songs on it. I don't know. technical stuff is cool, and I do like some technical death metal bands out there, some technical thrash metal bands. Aggression from Canada have one of the best thrash metal albums of all time, The Full Treatment. But I don't know, it just wasn't doing much for me, you know? I much preferred Individual Thought Patterns. I thought that was a way better fucking album than Human, if you ask me. And definitely one of Death's best albums. You fucking asshole. As for the later output, you get shit like Sound of Perseverance and Symbolic. And I do like some tracks off Symbolic. It's been a pretty long time since I listened to it, honestly. And The Sound of Perseverance is a really, really good fucking album, too. It was an interesting note for the band to end on. I think the band definitely dissolved a little too quick there at the end, but, you know, not like Chuck chose for that shit to happen, right? No one chooses to get cancer. At least I hope not. But they had a pretty good career, ultimately. Leprosy is definitely one of Death's best albums, for sure. And there's been a lot of hate over the years for this, probably just because it's become normalized. It is a classic, after all. It is a really solid fucking album, and probably one of the best death metal albums of the 1980s. I mean, there was some really tough competition. I say 87, 88, 89 was peak extreme music years. You know, you had shit like Symphonies of Sickness, Consuming Impulse, The Full Treatment. There's so many good albums from 1987 alone that I could make a whole fucking video yapping about it. But that's for another time. Goddamn, Relapsing is so fucking good. And I did not wear any band merch. Just shot this video off the cuff. But if you've ever thought about picking this up, or you're off-put by, you know, potentially heavy-ass music, you do far worse than not give Leprosy a try. It's become pretty much a normie namesake at this point. But for good reason. Sometimes the normies are right. Sometimes. Not all the time. But sometimes. You know, my favorite tracks on the album, Left to Die is a classic fucking track. Pull the Plug is probably the fan favorite. It's unique for a death metal song. The solos are fantastic. It actually has a really catchy chorus. And I love Choke on it. As dumb as the song as it is, I love all the drum fills in that song. It's crazy as shit. And the title track, too, is really good. And about 1 minute 30 seconds into Born Dead, it gets really fucking good. Forgotten Past is another really fucking good one. The whole album's extremely solid, like I said. So if you thought about picking up Leprosy, don't fucking wait. Pick it up and give it a try. Total fucking head removal. That shit's good. That shit's really fucking good. Both the Cigarette and Leprosy. But, like I said, Spiritual Healing is, for me, my favorite death album. And that's from a long-time fan of Scream Bloody Gore. I listened to that shit for years on end. Probably 4 or 5 years straight, I listened to nothing but Scream Bloody Gore. And I gotta say, you get tired of that shit. If you've ever listened to an album or project for so long, it just gets to the point where you're like, fuck this shit. But you should definitely look into Death if you haven't already. I mean, I imagine that's why you clicked this shit. I don't know if you can hear that. It sounds like someone's getting pummeled by a charger or some shit. Probably a nail gun or something. But cigarette's about done right there. It says fucking Parliament. Fucking delicious. This is definitely a rich person cigarette. You know, they take their blood pressure medication, put coke in the fucking end of this, and, you know. But to each their own. Parliaments are more of a luxury, high-end smoke. You definitely pay that luxury price at the fucking counter, I can tell you that. And the tobacco tax is going to constantly fuck smokers until they die, which cigarettes already do, you know. And the reality is, one day you probably won't be able to afford your fucking cigarettes. Marlboros are getting to be $9 a fucking pack. They used to be $6.30 or some shit. Cigarettes basically done. such a fiend. I'm going to take one more hit. Tastes like beach water and cocaine. Beach water, cocaine. Well, it's still going. But that is my review of Death, Leprosy. Don't hesitate. Pick it up on CD. Pick it up on wax. I don't know. They probably got it on floppy disk as many fucking formats as it's been on. Don't sleep on this shit. Give it a try.